Hey, everybody. I'm Taylor Ferber.
And I'm Joe Francis. And this is Undressed.
Joe,
Yeah,
are you
Taylor.
feeling a little wild today? Because it's spring break, baby.
Oh my God,
I would
right?
flash this like Girls Gone Wild style, but I wore this very important shirt because we are just reminding, the audience and I are reminding you, with our very hefty wardrobe budget, who the favorite of the two of us is. So just so you don't forget, it's right here. So now
I
you'll
got
always know.
money today. I'm rocking new.
Yeah, you really you hog wild. I mean, you shouldn't
Right?
have
Right?
really tripped us up between, the white, the black tee.
I know,
Now we're not
right?
going to have budget to do anything else in this life
Black
with this show. So
t-shirt. Like
thanks.
I'm really making progress here. Thank you so much for upping the budget, and
Yeah,
happy things are
really.
going well.
So much for the wet t-shirt contest we were going to do for this episode. You just killed our boner. So thanks for
Well,
that.
maybe we'll get to that.
Anyways,
We'll have a guest.
maybe
We
we
can probably
will.
try.
Maybe we will. And thank God for this guest, by the way, because it has been like, you've been holding down the sausage fest of this, and our inaugural guest is a woman. So thank God. And Joe, you can run, but you can't hide, because we are not going to go easy on you. You're going to be stuck between two sets of tits
absolutely.
and brains. So
Yes.
too bad, bucko.
I like that. Does sound good though, to be, what you said.
Yeah, well,
I
we'll see
like
about
that.
that. That
No,
remains to be seen.
I mean, like, there's nothing that what you said sounds bad to me. Like, that sounds like a lovely place to be, my,
We'll see.
my head,
We'll see
my
you
head
when you're-
can't get in a better environment. I could never imagine my head, Taylor. So thank you for inviting me there. But you said it's spring break time, and like I'm so nostalgic, Taylor. Like I don't know whether to cry that it's over or, but it's gone forever because social media has killed it.
It really has. And we just want to bring people back to a time when it was such a phenomenon and a cultural touchstone and a moment in time when everybody was just wild and free. And now, like, your black tee that is killing our wet t-shirt contest fun, it is just a big wet mop blanket. Like, these kids do not know how to have fun. And we're going to talk about that, but let's just kind of like set the scene, because I feel like we're at the 25-year anniversary of when spring break was at its peak. Like, MTV was on the scene. There were so many iconic moments, i.e. when Carmen Electra, do you remember this show?
Yeah, of course.
She came out strutting her hot ass body, her tight little ass, her tan, her fake tits, and wasn't like doing the twerk like these crazy biatches now. It was just like she was like doing it, like strutting like a hot little piece of ass, like sex toy angel, shaking the ass while Lit was performing, and it just was unmatched. And let's be real, that would never fly today. It just wouldn't.
Right? And people wouldn't do it.
Why?
But it's crazy. Well, because social media, that's changed everything, and cameras being on there. And remember, Taylor, this was a time, if you were in college, and I know, look, let's up front. Like, I did spring break every.
Here it comes. I'm not talking about you.
Taylor's never ever. Hey, everybody! Taylor's never been on spring break.
Whatever. First of all, okay,
you've never been on fun spring break ever. You've never ever been on fun spring break. I'm not saying you're boring.
I hope you're. I bet your bottom dollar you're not, because
I don't know. Maybe your parents didn't let you go.
I was gonna start throwing daggers at Grandpa here drinking elderberry prune juice. I don't know what's happening there, but anyways, first of all, when spring break,
maybe your parents had seen Girls Gone Wild and they would not let you go on spring break. So you have a defense there. Like, I'm just saying, you've never been on spring break, have you?
Well, I have actually not been on spring break. It wasn't really my thing, but being always a pop culture junkie, even though I was like 10 at the time.
Nobody invited you? What happened?
Wow. Don't get, listen, Gramps, don't get confused. You guys, Joe thinks that just because I didn't have my slutty college years and didn't sleep around as much as anyone else, that I didn't throw down. Let me just tell you, I was a party animal. I was like blacked out
Okay,
for
because
half of my college experience while also
we
getting
have
straight
somebody
A's.
coming on today that actually was invited on spring break. So
I know. I cannot wait to
want
get
to
a
say
slice of
because
heaven from
you
her.
never saw what we've seen. And Taylor, I'm just going to tell you up front that imagine there was no social media, there was no BS with the cell phones. So you actually went to a place and socialized with people from all over the country at that 1 week out of the year. And they came from all different schools. So it was like everybody steps outside of their own social circle. And we, of course, all did wild and crazy and fun things that we'll never forget and we'll take for the rest of our lives. So it was so great to be a part of that, both in my schooling life and my studying life when I went to college, and then I went on spring break myself, and then after my professional career when I was able to document it for so many spring breakers. So it was quite the time.
It was a time to be alive. And even though I was, even though I was like at the ripe age of 10,
I guess for me, yeah, I don't know. For me, yes.
I even know how iconic it was. I mean, MTV Spring Break. And I also like how you're saying, like, kids got to get together and socialize as if it were this like elitist cotillion, like civilized, and they weren't doing body shots and G-string bikini. I'm just saying.
But that wasn't it. That wasn't the only thing. And yes, there was a lot of that, right? And of course, that's where the cameras go. And that's where our cameras went, because that's what people want to see on TV. But come on, do you think everyone was doing that? There were plenty of Taylor Ferbers on spring break who wouldn't, go back to your hotel room. But thank God there were plenty of.
What would they do?
There were plenty of Erica Johnsons too. So there's like a mix. So
I'm sensing daggers being thrown. I'm sensing this is a personal. My Miss Cleo balls are telling me this is a personal moment for Joe. First of all, just because I wouldn't be like giving blowjobs on the beach, I would be a good ass time at spring break. I would be Carmen Electra. Actually, I like even in college, I had the freshman. I had my freshman 15. So I don't know that I would be like Carmen Electra. I would be her, not physically at that time, but in spirit. I would be rocking spring break. I think I would be the life of the party. I would
you're
be the life
like
of the party.
Taylor, you are a girl gone wild. Like, honestly, like you are indoctrinated in this whole thing. And, you're like, I don't understand. It's like, you just didn't, what happened? Like, you're like a girl gone wild that just didn't get to go wild. Like, that's what I
wild.
Feel.
That's what you're missing here, pal.
Okay, I don't get it. It's just not in the context.
I was doing like fifth.
Not in the context.
Do you know what a fifth and a friend is? Do I have to educate you too on that?
Go ahead, educate me. Go ahead.
A friend was a college. We would do jungle juice. I'm retired. Shit. Fifth and a friend is where the girls and the guys would partner up, and this actually is like ratchet. We would have to finish a fifth of alcohol, and whoever did it first would win.
What?
I'm just saying. That's right. So I could party. Don't cross me, baby. I would drink you under the table and have a really good time. But anyways, back to, you overlooked this very important thing here, Joe. Because I know this is like transporting you in the time capsule. You overlooked
overlooking what?
Well, listen, actually, this moment, which it did just hit 25 years old.
Yeah.
The Carmen Electra strut that we're talking about. Yeah. Why it wouldn't fly today, let's be real. It kind of plays into this entire thing that everything has become
because
Carmen
Electra's 55. So there's reason number one why
she's
wouldn't
still hot as shit.
No, because nobody wants to see that. She's too young for you.
My bad. She's not 20. She's so hot.
Her on MTV. I'm not saying
still
for
is
everyone.
Hot.
Yeah.
She still is hot. Her OnlyFans is I mean, I'm not a subscriber, but I've thought about it as a straight woman. I've thought about it.
I'm joking. I actually love Carmen Electra, so I'm completely joking, but that's the truth. No one's gonna watch MTV.
No one's gonna watch it. But listen, the whole thing plays into why spring break isn't even what it is anymore, because
social media
knows how to have fun. No one's hot or wild anymore. But also, even like her doing that, let's be real now, young girls and women would be like, oh no, it's feeding into the male gaze. Me. They would come out looking like garbage men in like mom saggy ass Gap closed jeans, like Charlie XCX coming out of a sewer, like making out with non-binary people on the stage, and that they would call hot. And it's like, sweetheart, learn. Carmen Electra walked so we could run. And to your point, even how men and women are, you talk about socializing, like now, major record scratch, like, right, from the good times. These kids call spring break, if they're ever even going on it, like a retreat to Thailand by themselves to make some dopey, polished Instagram reel. It is
Right.
so lame.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's
I
so
mean,
bad.
at least in my day, at least we'd have like at least like Mormon kids or like something. I don't know. They were like some religion like that with Jesus and stuff, and they would like have to go to some like Spanish speaking country and make houses or something or feed them, but like something like that.
Wow.
So that
Joe's
was like
so
it was called
the Mexican
alternative
kids
spring break. Alternative spring break. Yes. It was called alternative spring break. It was like only for Jesus people. You're a Jew. You will not know this, but that's what Jesus people do. It's called alternative spring break, right? And then there was regular spring break for the other 99.9% of people in college, right? But like Jesus people did that. And I don't know. I've never heard it was fun. I've never seen any documentaries about alternative spring break, but I've seen plenty about Joe Francis and I've seen plenty about Girls Gone Wild.
This is gonna jog a lot of people's memories.
People were out doing what we were doing.
Joe,
out there.
I'm the first one to make fun of a Bible hugger. The Jesus freaks can be freaky.
I'm not making fun of Jesus. I'm sure he was a really nice guy. Honestly,
I'm not talking about Jesus.
I'm sure Jesus was a lot like Kanye West. Honestly.
No,
watch me fucking walk on that water. Yeah.
Wow.
Don't you think?
Do I think that Jesus was like Kanye?
Well, okay.
I think that concoction
full disclosure.
One time, concoction is getting to your head a little bit.
No. But one time, I'm on all this medication because I'm sick. But all right.
That's right. Just thinking about spring break.
How innocent me got sick. I'm an innocent bystander of spring break. Go ahead.
Anyways, I was gonna say that don't overlook the Jesus freaks. I feel like they get nasty. They're the closeted ones. They're the ones swinging from doing all kinds of. I'm just saying.
I love Jesus people.
Even if it wasn't
my mom's a Jesus person. My sister is. I love Jesus people. Okay. I'm just not one of them.
I'm glad that we clarified that. So, in addition to loving Jesus people, you have another claim to fame, and we have buried the lead.
Don't you too? You're a Jew, but Jesus was a Jew.
I told Jesus was my homeboy. I said it one of our recent.
You didn't. All right. Let's just get this for the audience, just once and for all. Taylor, did you and your people kill Jesus Christ?
Is this where we're going with this?
No, I just want to make just for our audience. We're just gonna get it out of the way.
Don't bring my people into this. We didn't ask for this.
Not to answer the question.
We want to be excluded from this narrative.
There you go. No, they did not kill Jesus. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Good.
So now that we've established that Joe is the Jesus of his mind and of this stream. So we did bury the lead, like I said, okay, because you, Joe, actually were, and this is noted, I mean, you were the king of spring break. Like, you put spring break on the map. You basically were synonymous with spring break and all that it was. You had the Girls Gone Wild bus. Girls Gone Wild is synonymous with spring break. So you put this on the map. And we have a little lady here today who, has street cred in this area. And she is going to come in to reminisce with us about this. We have Miss Casey Head. Now, Casey is a total smoke show MILF. She was Miss Hawaiian Tropic. Okay, she was also Miss Congeniality, but you're not going to see any of that today because we are going to go in on your ass. And she's here to tell us all about this time that these kids today, for aforementioned reasons, know nothing about. So, Casey, welcome to Undressed. I'm sure this is bringing back.
Welcome, Casey.
Hi, Joe.
It's so great to have you.
Thank you for welcoming.
Well, I don't know. Let me say that at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Your tidbits, and I'm like,
great to see you, though. How are you? You look lovely.
I was like, I'm gonna agree with some of it. No, he's full of shit.
Go in, Casey. Right,
Casey
go in.
and I were doing plenty of spring
disagree?
breaks 25 years ago. So no.
Casey's seen some shiz. Casey, what do you disagree with off of the bat that you've heard?
First of all, there was 2 keywords: my last name is Head, and he's like, oh, I didn't get any head from those girls. I'm like, stop talking about head, because I'm about to go on your show. Like, fuck you.
Wait, I didn't say that. Wait, no, I haven't said the stuff like that in like 20 years. Casey, there's a whole like movement.
Oh,
We can't say stuff like that anymore.
Bro,
It's like a whole thing. Everybody's like, all politically correct and stuff.
No, I'm talking about the words that you did that I listened to like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. All right.
Casey,
Well-
he's just upset that he didn't get head from the iconic Casey had. And so
Of
you know what?
course.
And so
Never
that's
happened.
too bad. That's
He
too
wouldn't.
bad for
I
him.
tried though, guys.
That's why
like
we're
A for effort. But I did have sex with all of Casey's friends. So,
Okay.
she's the one that got away, I guess, kind of like forcefully. I don't know.
But did they say Joe was good in bed, Casey?
She was the one that was able to
You
take
know
the
what? He
locks
got
and
a
the
solid
handcuffs.
8, all of my
Get
friends.
out.
He got a solid 8 from all of my friends.
A solid 8.
An
Okay.
8?
Okay.
Wait, hold on
No,
a second. In
she,
bed?
She took the average and multiplied it by 2. Okay, so Casey, given that you were there in the heyday, you experienced this, just paint the picture. Like, what's your craziest memory of what it was actually like?
Like spring break and spring break with Girls Gone Wild.
Both, either.
Okay. I was in charge of the team. I had Carrie Stroop, Natalie Witt, who was the other girl? Jasmine Monroe and Lydia Avogadas. She was a Spanish girl. And so I was in charge of like the team. And so we were staying in the same condos as everybody that was staying from the MTV show at the time. That was like
And what do you remember special about this, Casey? Like, what do you remember? Like, what do you tell us about the parties? Like, tell us about like
what you
when you would
saw.
go out at night. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you would go out. You guys would go and represent, and you would have.
we were at Louis upstairs. We would have the bikini contest. And
Yeah, there you go.
we would go to the Sheraton in South Padre Island, Texas, which is where your suite was. And then we would go to Schlitterbahn.
Call it a suite at the Sheraton. I love that.
Yeah.
And you know who I was staying with? Snoop Dogg, right?
I know.
Snoop Dogg and I were at the Sheraton.
Yeah, you and Snoop were there. And Paul Oakenfold.
Yeah.
Because he was performing. So during the day, Taylor.
Remember we stayed up all night with Paul.
During the day, it was a water park. And at night, it turned into a concert. And
But
so,
what was it like, Casey? Like,
Oh, Schlitterbahn. I remember that place in
What-
South Padre Island, Texas. I loved that place. Oh, that was so much fun. Schlitterbahn.
everybody went,
Casey,
Yeah,
talk
and
about
I
like,
performed with Little John. I remember that. I performed Little John in spring break on the stage, and it was like that song. Yeah, that hey, yeah. I had to learn how to sing. They're like, "Can you sing?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Don't worry." And just, can you lip sync? I go, "Yeah, no problem. We'll give you a mic."
like
Isn't that fun? Just dancing around up there, and it was awesome.
And then do you remember the spot, Joe, on on the main strip that had like the phone party and they found a dead body at the end?
Oh,
No, I don't. But
On your
now you're creeping me out. Like, did you kill somebody, Casey?
I was just gonna be like, Casey,
Oh.
describe some of the things that you saw, because Joe is painting it, and he is actually right? Like, people really lived in the moment, socialized, as he said, but was captured in the present and not in a cell phone like it is now. Dead bodies are not included.
That's
What? Like, paint,
2 a.m.ish.
paint the picture of like
basically
what you saw.
a day in the life of a Hawaiian Tropic model and a day in the life of a Girls Gone Wild person with a backpack, Mikey Appel, like so they would
What did Girls Gone Wild guy do?
shut your mouth. So no, we would
You heard the woman. You heard the woman.
Amazing, right? Do you want a
Doesn't even
co-hosting
fight it.
job? Do you want a co-hosting job? I was looking for an AI co-host, but you could probably do it.
This whole episode was a big coup to just show you that Casey and I are now hosting this show. And
I bet it. It's fun. Okay.
oh yeah,
hey,
Cutting me
so how
out.
does it feel to be a side piece? Like
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
exactly.
well, if I'm a side piece to two beautiful women, I will take it. Thank you.
I'll take a side piece who's, you know,
in the morning.
That's a pleasure.
We would get in our fucking tragic, like, so Ron Rice would make us wear these like turtleneck swimsuits. We had like literally, I kind of, now that I think about it, and now that I'm older, like once we would get back from spring break, I'd have this like turtleneck tan line, and I'm like, it kind of looks like I was like choked all summer. Like,
Oh my God.
that's funny.
All right. So
You had,
one
you,
time,
and that's
I
okay
want to
because
tell.
you
I
didn't, it
wanna
wasn't
tell
on
a story.
Instagram, so you could just live your life.
And now, see, the problem with spring break, it's completely, and I'm just going to wrap this up about this because on spring break, because it is just completely changed. It is no longer what it was. It is there. None of those parties exist anymore. And people, if you weren't there, you missed out because it was a time of total free expression. It was a time of debauchery. I'm sorry, Taylor, because I know you would have been, you would have been a
I
great
would have been the
contender.
ringleader. I would have been
Never
the
made it.
ringleader.
You never made it, but I will tell you, and I cannot mention names.
Now it is
Okay.
all regulated, all rules. Everyone is
Exactly.
constricted. No one even does this. They're living for their
Exactly.
phones and their cameras and not just being trusted.
I feel like
Now, Casey, okay, now I got to go back to Casey here real quick because I have a bone to pick with Casey. Now, Casey has a birthday coming up on the 18th, okay? And Casey is turning, can I say how old you're turning?
44.
Please. Okay, yeah, 44. So Casey's turning 44 years old.
Yeah.
And I have known Casey for 24 years. How old were you? 20 when I met you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've known you for 24 years. So in fairness, okay, and I've never dated Casey, okay? We've never been romantically
Since
involved.
established, yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but I've tried, so the guys,
We figured.
I'm not gay or anything, right? Wait, hold on, but you don't think I'm gay? Because we haven't? No.
Why are you trying so hard to prove you're
Really?
not?
No,
though?
I just want to make sure.
Why are you trying so hard to convince
Wait,
us?
I just want to see if Casey thought I was gay or not. For
I
just
don't think
never
you're
trying. Oh, I don't know.
I know you're not gay. Oh shit.
You asked somebody, shut up. Okay, that's such a stupid answer. But anyways, here we go. So she waits. So I've known this woman for 25 years, Taylor. And then she waits for 24 of those years to tell me a story that happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh God. Oh God.
She left me at a table in Los Angeles. And I strictly work. This is strictly real business. Like I had no
Okay.
interest in sleeping with her. Obviously, she was dating a friend of mine at the time.
All right.
We will not tell you who that is.
You're
But-
at a business dinner.
So she finally tells me the story, and I wish I had known it sooner because now it totally makes sense. And I took Casey to a restaurant that I frequented all the time called the Buffalo Club in Los Angeles. Do you know this place in Santa Monica?
The Boulevard.
Yeah, it's right down the street. It was right down the street from my office, but I
Yeah.
would go there. It was like a Hollywood hotspot, but very low key, no front door, no whatever. But it would you just
Okay, it's like
studio
we're there. So
executive.
what happened with Casey? I feel like we're
So
transported
Casey
there.
just left me. I'm at a lunch, right? I take this woman to a lunch, and this she was 20, or something, and I'm talking to her about real business. Like, I need you to do an infomercial with, at that time her friend Leah. Well, and
Rest in peace.
blah blah blah. Yeah, you're gonna do this. This is what we're gonna do. Whatever. And then she goes to the bathroom, but she doesn't come back for like 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. But at that time,
Did you go check on her? Were you like, are you good? Or you're just sitting there twiddling your
Did not.
thumbs?
didn't
Even knock on the door.
even think about it. You know what I did as a young businessman in my young 20s, hustling and trying to make a lot of money? And what I did is I went for all the studio execs that I knew and the friends that I had in the room that were having lunch, because I was by myself and glad-handed, and did small talk with all of them, and like went back to the table as I was used to doing. Right? Didn't even think anything of it. Probably sent a few text
So
messages.
what did you find out? Where was Casey? Where in the world was Casey head?
I think Casey has to talk about Casey
Casey?
because
Yeah. Well, Casey, what had happened was, Joe was boring me because he talks about himself too much, and so I left. I happened to see this really handsome man happened to be on the way out.
Is this just any man? Is this like, we're in Hollywood, so is this like a man, you know, of stature? Or
You could call it wit, you could call it pit, you could call it spit, you know, whatever.
is this like, I'm just picturing, visualizing, putting the pieces. Are we talking like
Oh, come on. It gives us so much context. Casey.
A-lister,
Casey.
sexy?
All right, so what were you doing in the bathroom?
Wait.
First of all, okay.
Casey who?
You can call it wit, you can call it pit, or you can call it spit, like whatever.
Oh, okay. Choose your own adventure.
What did she say?
It's like
what did she say? I wasn't. Wait, what did she just say? You can call it what?
You missed it.
Wit, pit, or sprit?
It's giving Mr. and Mrs. Smith to continue with this ride.
I mean, but hold on. Should I be upset with her that she had sex with an A-list celebrity while I was paying for lunch?
Wait,
Wow.
no.
Buffalo
Wait.
Club has a bad rep. Like, for real.
I mean,
Casey
like,
is quickly
don't
becoming
take a girl to
like,
Buffalo. Don't take a 20-year-old to
Wow.
Buffalo Club because
no,
Fight Club guy might bang your chick. I don't know. And by the way,
Casey-
you were not even dating. You were dating another celebrity friend of mine at the time. So I will not tell that other celebrity friend, right?
well, you know,
You little whore. I'm just kidding.
the people want to know, Casey.
you take that back right now.
I'm joking. I'm totally kidding.
Do you notice how I just ignore him? I just ignore him. Casey, you are the
Everyone would do that, Casey. Hey, Casey, you're like the hero of every woman. And
Casey.
it was pre, can I say initials? Was it pre his girlfriend J.A.?
Yes.
So then you're not the other woman. You're not
Okay.
Angelina Jolie, so everybody likes you. So you're good.
Yeah.
You're
so
fine.
Casey.
I'm not
Well,
gonna- I mean, my DMs are really good right now, so it's good. You know.
Okay, good.
so
But-
Casey was the Mrs. Smith of our fantasy dreams, the unsung hero, the unsung hero of our time.
For the record, only for about eight minutes, but yeah, but
Wait, Casey, what else? Because, and the reason I asked, by the way, is not only just because this is legend status, obviously, but like stuff like this, because of everything we're talking about, doesn't happen anymore, right? Because everybody is so boring and scared. Like the spontaneity of this would never happen, which is why you're the icon of our time. So in 8 minutes, like, can you just don't let Joe whitewash your story? Like, what you don't have in as much or little detail as you want, but like, again, just take us there and like what was fun about it and how it just happened.
What was fun about it? That was every woman's fantasy.
We're
What was fun
totally
about it?
selfless. This is pure research.
Start with
Selfless
with-
reasons.
start with
Selfless
second
reasons.
one, and then you can just go through the seconds and and
Well,
treat
it's
them like
it's too
minutes.
ambiguous. It's like, oh, she
Taylor,
disappeared for 20
Taylor
minutes.
wants to get her pocket vibrator out. And listen,
Cut to Casey. Cut the shot to Casey.
Taylor, listen to me. I walked in. So if you've ever been to the Buffalo Club, it's like a tiny little hallway to the bathroom. And so just kind of he wasn't even sitting at the table. Me and Joe were in like the main like room where the tables are.
outside, we were seated.
Yeah.
We always eat lunch. Everybody eats lunch outside on the
Yeah,
patio.
so you get up and you go to the bathroom. Well, he was sitting at the bar, and then I kind of just grabbed his hand.
So you made the move. I thought like he saw you walk by. Again,
Oh, he saw me coming.
He saw you coming. He saw you
He
coming.
was eye fucking me from Joe's table. And I was like,
At Joe's
saw him.
table. I mean,
I walked-
like, I don't know now. I'm emasculated.
Grabbed his hand.
I don't know. I used to be friends with this
Relevant.
guy. I don't know if I like him anymore. I don't
And
know.
He didn't like
Survival of the fittest, Joe.
I don't know. But like, I don't know how to feel anymore
So you,
about this particular A-list celebrity who I've invited to my home, to parties. I don't know. Now I don't know if I'm cool, but whatever. We weren't romantically involved. So it's different. It was business.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Business. Okay.
So you were like the eye fucking was happening.
So
You
the
grabbed
eye-
his hand and it was just like telepathically on.
And I'm sitting in, and Clive owns, like Clive was there, and then who else was there? I can't remember. We had a big table. We were like the middle of the outside arena, like where in Buffalo.
And then tell us what happened in the bathroom. So you were coming out of the bathroom, and then
I
Coming out. I'm trying to get in the stall, buddy. What are you jumping? Joe.
oh, you're already in there? No. Well, you said
Joe,
I can't put words in
let
her
the
mouth.
woman tell the
Told me a little
story.
different story, but yeah.
Joe's trying to get Joe's, you know what it is. Joe has a vendetta right now to rain on our parade to make up for when he was left at the table however many years ago. So he keeps trying to interrupt. So
you know that's traumatic.
Casey,
You know,
was that there was right at the accent, like right where you
if I was a kid today, I could
There's a
tell
door.
on you for saying that, for bullying me.
how do
but
we mute Joe? Producers, how do we mute Joe? Okay, Casey, take it away. Holy.
so when you go down this little bathroom in the hallway to the bathroom, there's an extra door that, like, I guess is typically used to take out the trash. And you just like, we were outside, and also too, he wasn't going to be photographed, so it was. Anyways, hit it, quit it, spit it, let it, done.
Oh my God.
Come back. We're like responsible adults. Like,
We need a Hollywood statue erected in Stacey's honor. Like, this goes down.
wait, was that? Did I just hear hit it, spit it?
Hit
Is
it,
this like
spit
the
it,
Hawk
spit
2? You're like the Hawk 2 for
Casey?
I feel like I'm Kendrick Lamar, like right now, like
Casey, listen, it's just a simple nod.
So all
We're
right.
talking how, like, am I proximity? Am I looking it kind of like, is it up to our fantasy and our mind? We're looking like
tap. I don't know. You gotta have two grips, but yeah.
Casey. It's just the unspoken Casey. What do we think?
Higher. Let me see.
Is this sort of what we're working with unsaid person? Because
I'm dying.
that's what I imagine in my dreams.
Like, I know Joe's a slut, but am I a slut? Like, I know.
No, you are a
Wait,
hero.
why do you
You are a
know Joe's
hero
a
for this
slut?
story.
Like, why do I
Oh my
automatically
God,
get
Joe. Do you
thrown
think
into a
how many people
slut
you
category?
slept with?
Like, my
real-
God. Yeah, slut shamers. Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
Joe, how many people?
Call the friggin' what?
Joe Francis. How many
Yeah.
people have you slept with?
No, that's a whole
Casey,
nother.
we did this.
You
Casey,
can watch last week's episode.
we did this
all
in our
the
episode
answers are
last
there.
week, and
Yeah,
that's
all
why
the answers are
Casey,
there.
that's why Casey, you're a monumental hero because
all
you're like,
the
am I a
answers are
slut? Guys get away with this all of the time, and so for you to be like, it was on, I grabbed his hand, I made it happen. Like, that is the energy I'm trying to live day by day. Like that exact. Yes, go on, Casey. That's what I'm talking about. And
This is why Joe and I are friends. And he trusts me. I trust him. I knew.
But isn't that crazy what she's talking about, the story that she's talking about right now that happened at Buffalo Club with this A-list celebrity grabbing her and throwing her in the thing and having 8 minutes of pure bliss. But that won't happen today. And I'll
Never.
tell you,
it wouldn't happen on
You
spring
know,
break. It wouldn't happen in
I-
Hollywood.
like being a celebrity, good-looking adult male, and
Who are you
I
talking
have-
about? You?
yeah, no.
Subjectively. So
I know.
who?
No, hold on. I know, like that. Those things used to happen all the time. So,
All the
like,
time.
it's absolutely a believable story. And like, it's like it's not like we were romantically involved. Like, oh my God, I wonder how many times that's actually happened to me. And now that I have a platonic
Joe,
friend
like,
telling me this, it's
we-
hysterical. I'm
I-
emasculated by the Fight Club guy. Oh my God.
Well, and then
I
I
liked
flew to
him.
Hong
I
Kong.
was friends with
Met
him.
you- I met
We
you.
were friends, Brad. Yeah. Okay. What?
I know. I flew to
upset.
Hong Kong.
I'm
to meet-
upset.
Oh,
understand that?
Joe's in his feelings. You're stepping on Casey's Hong Kong story,
But
and
I paid. I've never felt like that
No, I
douchebag
wanna
who's
talk
gonna
about
like
when you
pay
took
for
me
the
to Hong
dinner
Kong.
while some other guy's banging her in the bathroom. Like, come on.
Joe.
Like, that's awful, Taylor. Like, imagine I'm that guy now. I'm that guy.
Okay, you know
my
what?
God.
Women have
Like,
this.
I made-
Women have this happen to them on the daily. We see women
I
getting
should be
played
just-
simultaneously.
I'm-
Oh, boo-hoo! Cry your tears. It happened once at a
But I'm
table for
not
8 minutes.
Persian,
Oh,
and I'm not
whatever.
ugly.
Jerk it
I'm not
off.
ugly. Am I?
It doesn't
Am I
matter if
ugly?
you're ugly.
Am I
Guys get
Persian?
away.
in my
Guys
person.
get away.
Okay.
You know what? You can't
So-
handle the tables being turned. Guys get away with this on the daily, and so what? You can't handle it for 8 minutes of your life. Oh,
I'm
too
taking and paying a 20-year-old to buy lunch, and he's banging her and not me in the bathroom at that moment. I'm just saying, look, I would have done it anyway. He was having sex with my friend. I do not have sex with my friends' girlfriends, wives, anything like
Joe.
He can testify to that ever. I don't cross that one.
Joe, nothing
But-
against you. If she weren't to do this with said person, that would literally be a hate crime. I mean, this is like the person that if she weren't to do it, that would be, that would be that would be a crime.
Because everyone, I would say everyone, Taylor, correct me if I'm wrong, in a relationship, everyone has that one person that like, okay, you can pick one person in the world and you can have sex with that
this
one
person. Exactly. This is everybody's with every woman with a pulse
exception. The one exception.
Yes.
Okay. But if she wants to do it, then okay, that's it. And then they laugh and say, but that'll never happen. Ha ha. And then it did. Look.
So Casey, before we let you go, what would you say with all of this entire experience today here? Which thank you for joining us, and I apologize on behalf of Joe here.
Thank you, Casey. Yeah, I mean, she's abusive. I told you, like Casey.
Yes.
I'm sorry for my co-host. She can be abusive, and she's not sensitive to like.
You're not.
She's not sensitive to the new social norms, shall we say? But I'm trying to educate her on all of the Black Lives thing matter stuff.
It's too bad.
And then on
Casey's living my dream,
but she's just fine. It's okay. I'm sorry, Casey.
Vicariously.
Thank you. Thank you.
Taylor,
From me.
I am living vicariously through this woman who had this story with my ultimate. Yeah, no, it's beautiful, Casey. So with that said,
do you like pickles?
if they come from you, Casey, I will.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go visit Joe because he promised
Is
me.
that a euphemism for something? What, ladies?
Yes, I told you she is. I'm living vicariously as the Mrs. Smith of my ultimate life fantasy. So I will bow down to Casey, protect this woman at all costs.
Bye, Casey. Thank you.
Miss
Casey.
Bye. Thank you.
I love you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Casey.
You're welcome, Taylor. And I like your tatas.
Thank you. They like you back. Not you, Joe. Just Casey.
All right.
All right.
Well, that was fun.
That was really fun. That really brought me back in so many ways. Brought me back as if I was like 10. I was like, that really brought me back. No, but it really did capture the fun spirited essence of that time that is just lost. And it's really
And it's not only lost though, Taylor, because to add to that, it's demonized now. It's like repressed, you know, that socialization. And that's why it's like we see so many things dying. And look, social media, that's why, like, there's one answer. Like, these people don't do anything anymore. You know, these generations don't know how to socialize.
nothing is fun anymore. Literally anything fun and wild in this life or sexy has been neutered. I mean, I feel like we're literally Stepford Wives in the 50s. Think about it. Men and women, they don't know how to act with each other. They don't even know how to be.
It's true.
Movies.
It's true.
Movies
right.
with these DEI, they have a
You're right.
Snow White who's brown because they're trying to fit in these little boxes.
What is that
Hollywood.
about? And you know
It's
what?
about this.
Yeah,
It's
and
about
you know
this.
why? And that failed. And that failed at the box office. And it'll
Exactly.
fail because we're rejecting this DEI, this ridiculous culture telling us what Snow White. Oh my God, Snow White is the most common like metaphor people use to describe something that's white.
It doesn't
Snow
even
White
mean that people
can't
are
be
like
a brown person. Well, it's kind of Asian. What is it?
kind of
What
she's
is
like
Snow White?
Pan Asian Pacific. Listen, it doesn't even mean that
No,
people
wait,
critical
what is
of
she?
this.
Pan Asian Islander?
I don't
Like,
even
what
know.
is the
I don't even
official
know her
designation
ethnicity.
of
I
Snow
just
White?
know she's a brown girl, and I just know this. It doesn't mean. Look, it plays into this very
like
thing. Joe,
like Moana Brown or
literally,
like
we're talking
like,
Moana
no.
Brown. We're talking Moana Brown
Wow.
for Snow
Like,
White. It's like, and it doesn't.
Why
mean-
Disney? Okay, I respected Disney so much more. With like, look, I'm a businessman, right? And I was buying Disney stock when I knew that very, very smart self-interested, greedy Jewish people like myself were running that
Oh,
company.
whatever. You found out you were Ashkenazi like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. And making lots of money for that company. Like, and not doing the shit. Like this stuff is a waste of time and it's not an efficient company. So where is this wokeness coming from?
Joe,
From
all
Disney.
of this. Joe,
I'm tired of it.
Joe, all of this, but everybody's tired of it.
I like
hence
money.
why it
Stockholders like money, Disney.
Okay.
Bring
listen,
us money.
Listen, everybody, even like lefty outlets are ragging on this. And here's why. It's this entire thing we're talking about. And it doesn't mean that it's like, oh, we're racist, we can't have a brown actress. No, it's you're making Snow White because of these dumb rules and that nothing is fun or makes sense anymore into these little boxes. A brown girl, like just make a new goddamn movie. Just be, and it's this whole thing, Joe. Like I said, I mean, imagine, and I even feel like people tell me all the time, my time in Hollywood, they're like, you caught the last of the heyday. Like before phones, you used to see celebrities kind of like Casey's Story doing all kinds of unhinged, wild, crazy stuff. Nothing, everything is watered down. Nothing is fun. And this is exactly why. It's like we're in this overcorrection.
Yeah.
Everything is boxed
right.
in. And will it ever just be the Wild West? And that's where like the good stuff comes. Even if it's like Spring Break, you talk about connectivity, even like in movies, originality, like fun, crazy skits on SNL, outlandish, like whatever it is. So what do you take us home, Joe, pack us up on the Girls Gone Wild bus and take us out of here and ride into the sunset.
I mean,
what you see with all this.
Yeah, it's tough to not make this a 24-hour conversation, but I am going to conclude here because what you're saying is exactly right. I mean, this is it's never going to go back, right? The genie's never going to go back in the bottle because not only do you have social media and you have everything you're talking about that's taken away from that, the cameras, is you have a generation of kids, unfortunately, who don't have the same social skills to be able to go out and mix with a bunch of people from different countries. Kids are so shy. These kids play video games. They have too much screen time and they don't have the same social skills that you have and that I have and that we were gifted by not having those devices at such a young age. So we've done that to them. Unfortunately, we've done that disservice. But, it's like that was then and this is now. And I'm like, RIP Spring Break, because by the way, Spring Break, Taylor, thank you for, by the way, your compliment. I didn't even say thank you, but you were crowning me the king of Spring Break. That was obviously something that was said a lot, but there is Spring Break as we know it.
I rag on you, but I got to give credit. Credit is due.
I did own Spring Break. I was the king of Spring Break. I will admit that. Yeah, I did. And it was great. And it was great to have an event that was both synonymous with the company that lasted for at least a month to 6 weeks out of the year. That was both synonymous with the company and the brand and synonymous with me as an individual. Like Mardi Gras became as well first before even Spring Break, but then we owned Spring Break as well, which, catapulted the brand into, superstardom because all of the young people embraced Girls Gone Wild at that time. And it went wildfire all over the country because Spring Break was like a convention, if you will. It was like where people would meet all in one place from all different colleges, from all walks of life, and you would hook up with people on Spring Break that you wouldn't normally hook up with at school. And girls would do the same and guys would do the same. And they would all have boyfriends and girlfriends. So that's what was happening. And there were no social media things and screens, and there was nobody to tell about it either. So I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of great stories about that, but unfortunately, Taylor, that's not going to ever be like that again. It's like,
I know it. I know it. And listen, do I regret, going in on you with Casey, like coming at you from all angles with the boobs, the brains? I have no regrets. I have no regrets. I have no regrets about this.
No apologies.
No apologies, no regrets.
Nothing.
And even though I did, give credit where credit is due. You are, crowning you. You are the king of spring break. I don't know if that compensated, but nonetheless, I think, look, even though this may be kind of a silly, frivolous topic, spring break, I really think it is a lens into something so much bigger we're talking about, which is capturing people being just fully liberated. Even like Casey's really fun story or spring break and your experience and what you did on the whole, right? It's like people just being fully human and liberated in the moment. And now these kids are just beholden to and slaves to their phones, how they look to everybody else, how they look on camera, and they are just missing out. I don't know. I don't know if I'm as pessimistic as you that it's like it can't be put back in the bottle. The genie can't be put back. It is what it is. But
because I have children, though, too. I have children, so I have a different perspective.
Like, I can't bring it all by back. I can't bring it back all by myself.
No. Because
I thought you meant.
Because here's how it works in any house in the world. A kid see their parents. Kids do what their parents do. They speak like their parents do. They eat like their parents do. They act like their parents do. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that's you. And those little bastards you hate. That's you. Maybe you should look at yourself. But, and the one thing, when I had really little kids was they imitate you. So they need a cell phone right away, whether it's a plastic one, whether it's one that makes noise, whether one that makes, and once they get one, Taylor, they're never going to put it down and they're never going to have those social skills. So the longer you can keep them away from it, the better. I mean, in my view. I mean, I didn't see a screen until I was at least 6 years old, even a television screen, thank God. My parents completely hid screens from me. So I was able to be I attribute that to my success, my creativity, but they didn't put other limits on me, just 0 screens. Now, I don't know if that's possible today. I don't even know if that's possible. Honestly, it's not. And that has destroyed, this generation, unfortunately, because they don't know, they don't have the filter. There's no, there are no ratings boards deciding what they should be able to be exposed to or see. They're seeing it all, and they're seeing it all at once and at every age. And, regardless of whether there's censorship or not, we were all kids. We could all, that's the one time of our life that we were brilliant about getting around everything. So, and all our friends would hook us up with whatever it took to get around any censorship. So, right?
Well, listen, guys, just a reminder, even though I like to, knock Joe a few pegs for my own fun and games, it is not to be forgotten that he is the one and only who really, like I said, put spring break on the map and made it what it was and was there to experience it. So, like, of anything that people can, like, say about you, this, that, or the other thing, that is like fact and remains to be true. It was such a moment in time, and you did I'm a liberated woman, and that's what I said before. What was so I can acknowledge about this time and appreciate is that it liberated people. So let's see where it goes from here. Hopefully these people after this and this story will live a little or bring a Mr. Smith of their own into the bathroom impromptu, even if they're sitting with someone at a table. I mean, I would hope so. I hope this inspires people to be liberated and live a little. I had so much fun.
What do you think of that story? That's the best.
I thought it was great. But you know what? We got to wrap this up here, Joe. I had a lot of fun, but not so much to where I was going to, Girls Gone Wild you right here. That maybe for another day. But, spring break, what happens in the spring break of Undressed stays here. So,
guys, share, subscribe, like, leave your comments at the bottom. Both Taylor and I want to hear from you. And we will see you on next week's episode of Undressed. Bye.
See you there, guys.